The 90s and early 2000s marked a whole stream of raunchy comedies on both the big and small screen, from spoofs like Scary Movie to cult hits like Road Trip and American Pie. There's no shortage of standouts in this field. Fast forward to 2023, and the hypersensitive state of entertainment right now has affected the genre of comedy perhaps more than any other. That means Netflix's latest raunchy action/comedy series is not going to go down well with half the audience. The other half, however, is going to find this a bombastic, action-packed guilty pleasure and something of a breath of fresh air. Depending on how you get on with the first few episodes will determine which side of the fence you fall on. Created by the minds behind Cobra Kai, Obliterated is a rip-roaring comedy that hangs off a basic premise and throws absolutely everything and the kitchen sink to see what sticks. The protagonist here is Ava Winters, who leads an eccentric group of misfits as they try to stop a Russian terrorist from launching a nuke in Las Vegas. Joining Ava is Chad McKnight, the typical macho guy, Angela, the lesbian sniper, Trunk, the hired muscle with a soft spot for food, Paul, the level-headed family man, Maya Learn, the geeky tech chick, and Haggerty, the drug-obsessed bomb technician. This ragtag group find themselves embroiled in a massive conspiracy that threatens to destroy the U.S. completely. Unfortunately, a wild night of drinking, drugs, and sex causes everyone to be in various states of inebriation, which just makes the mission that much harder. Cue hilarity to ensue. Obliterated has a range of different comedic styles, but more than anything else, there's a lot of sex jokes here. Not only that, but expect full frontal male nudity, half-naked chicks, toilet humor, and plenty of lowbrow jokes too. For some, this will be right up their alley, but others will immediately be turned off by this style. In fact, there are a few times where the show overstays its welcome and pushes the envelope a bit too much, including an unnecessary sex orgy inside a hotel room that serves absolutely no purpose. Contrasting that are a variety of other slapstick gags and on-running jokes that play into strangely satisfying character arcs. Angela learns humility by the end of the show. McKnight has more going on than just being a Chad, while Trunk's quest for a good meal hits a satisfying crunch by the end. All of these work surprisingly well and make the ride all the more satisfying by the end. On the flip side, though, this series is too long. Way too long. There's a couple of nice twists that keep things interesting, but episode 4 literally feels like busywork with lots of walking and talking. Similarly, the journey is stretched way too long, and a 5 or 6 episode miniseries would perhaps have sufficed much more. The acting is pretty hit or miss at the best of times too, and ironically, Ava is the worst character of the bunch. Each have their own quips, but she just feels a bit vanilla by comparison. There are also a few arcs, like Maya Learner's, which doesn't hit a very satisfying conclusion either. If there was ever a show that embodies the words guilty pleasure, this is it. Obliterated's plot is absolutely bonkers and full of contrivances, while the comedy hits as much as it misses. In an era of sterilized comedy and careful committee-driven projects, Obliterated doesn't care who it offends or how many buttons it presses. This is as unhinged as Haggerty's guacamole dip. This is an incredibly difficult show to score, but there's enough here to recommend and at least try. If you're taken with the first 2 episodes, you're in for one hell of a ride.